Hey guys, welcome to Nerds and Nuance. I'm Ian, and we're here for more of The Legend of Vox Machina. And last episode was the premiere, and boy, was it heavy. We got to see the 4 dragons, great voices for them. Obviously 1 or 2 of them we know already very well. Matt and Liam, which I didn't know they were going to be voicing the other dragons, but we got Cree Summers voicing Raishan, and we got Lance Reddick, voicing Thordak, the Cinder King. So great choices, and I didn't recognize Liam or Matt at all. Yeah, Iman's effectively destroyed. Gilmore Shop's gone, and we've escaped. Well, some of the people have been able of Amon were helped to escape to Whitestone via Keyleth's tree, transport via tree, I think it was called. We saved a few kids also. Man, I thought that one of them was gonna die. That would have been the worst. But Pike, took over the team. She was able to save them, and now we are heading off to Vasselheim and going to see 2 of my favorite side characters, extras, or guest characters that joined on the campaign. So, been waiting 2 seasons for this. Is that the tree? Uh-oh. Oh, is that not the right one? It's like on the cliff.
It worked! I can't believe it actually. Ah! Oh shit! Guys, stop! No, don't stop!
Pike! Grab my claw! Wait, what?
Yes!
I hope she catches us!
Look!
The landing's gonna be a bit rough. I'll sing our asses with some of my stuff.
That was cool.
Before I met you, I would have found this very upsetting.
Of course, Grog.
You don't understand. I have diplomatic credentials from Whitestone.
You want the marshals, go to the Platinum Sanctuary and find him yourself. Now, good day.
Did he say bidet?
Oh, here it is. Day.
Oh, and the beer
Waits
waits.
outside, yes, we know.
Animators.
Almost every prime deity is represented. The Wild Mother.
Oh, boy! Is that CADUCEUS?
I am Pike Trickfoot of the Everlight. A great evil has befallen Tal'Dorei. You see, dragons
The
have...
water reveals the truth.
Alright.
Grant us vision.
I mean... Yep. Yeah, that's good water.
You have weapons, ballista, armies. You're the strongest city in the world. Diplomacy demands...
Let me correct you. Vasselheim's most potent weapon is not its artillery, young man. It is our isolation. This city has stood for millennia by keeping the affairs of Tal'Dorei outside.
Usually takes us 10 minutes to get kicked out of a palace.
Raven Queen Temple. There she is.
They saw the Chroma Conclave and they didn't even care.
Listen, I serve the High Bearer, so I can't say much. But if you're slaying dragons, you need the Slayer's take.
I was right. Slayer's take.
Interesting.
Absolutely not.
The marshals are bound by politics.
Did you say something, Scanman?
Yes!
No, you're not your ears.
Yes! Sorry.
I have an old friend on the inside.
Zahra?
Zahra?
Friend is a generous term.
Yeah!
If there's a chance, even a small one, we have to take it.
Well, hello there. I feel like I haven't met you yet.
Me?
But you! You have those faces. They're just so familiar. Where have I seen them before? Oh, that's right. You're famous.
Oh, we won
Eyes
him!
up, gang!
Earthbreaker Groon, very good. Oh, he looks cool. Oh, he's blind, I forgot.
I'm sorry to wake you.
Juicy Ganses, Grog Strongjaw.
Is that...
You know my name?
The answers you seek are earned, not given. in the field of combat.
But you're like old.
Hey.
Come now, strike me, and you will learn what you lack.
Please don't make a joke of this.
Feels real weird. But fuck it. Let's get ugly, Grandpa.
Don't you cut up. Oh.
Kashaw. But you can call me Cash.
Like money. So clever.
You're very close to me. Hey, Z, are you expecting annoying visitors?
Oh.
Visitors? No.
Zahra, darling.
Now, let's discuss your payment plan.
With interest.
Super shitty time to lose ground.
There she is.
Not sure I want to know what that was.
I will take care of Vox Machina.
Yes, ma'am.
Fuck.
What? Wrong lever.
Where do you find your strength?
What you mean?
Oh!
You walk between worlds. Weakness in mind and weakness in conviction. Where does your strength come from?
My rage.
I wasn't ready. I'd like to see you try that again after I...
Pretty cool. Whoa.
Don't those usually, come
Come back.
Weapons are useless here. You're scared. I wonder, how do you hope to avenge a man when darkness makes you tremble? Like children.
Damn.
Are you the patron?
How astute. Call me Osysa, chosen of the knowing mistress, and patron of the slayer's take.
A Sphinx. I didn't realize they still existed.
You know of the dragons?
Please, we're desperate.
But you haven't the slightest idea what it will cost.
She's cool. Cool design.
Ah, the twins. You depended entirely on your sister. You hopelessly seeking your father's love. Both unprepared.
Where does your strength come from?
Why do you keep saying that?
You wield such a dark weapon. A reliance that proves your frailty.
This doesn't have to be a fight. If you won't help us, we can leave.
Fleeing from your duties again, Keelan? Tell me, what do you fear more? Failing your armamente, or knowing no one will live long enough to see you achieve it? No one cares about you. I'm no different.
Whoa.
You want me to say my muscles or my rage, but I know it's my heart. That's my real strength.
Wrong.
Damn. God.
Paralyzed right here.
Where does your strength come from?
I don't know.
I'm not leaving, not giving up, until someone listens.
And if I don't?
That's
Would
cool.
you sacrifice your life just to prove a point?
I don't care if I die. None of us do. But we're not leaving. We won't be ignored.
You have found what you need. The will to give everything. The vestiges of divergence.
So it begins.
In the Great Calamity, these weapons of war were created to strike down the gods themselves. Believed too powerful for mere mortals to wield, the vestiges were scattered across the lands. The Deathwalker's ward is one such vestige. The matron of Raven's own armor lies entombed by a lake to the west.
But you're alive?
No big. Osysa asked us to find something for her.
Our patron has a job for you.
Guess I'm quite charming after all. I'd say it was nice catching up, but it wasn't.
Not yet. Could be later.
How about step one? We get a fucking drink.
Grog! What happened to you?
Oh, an old man beat me up. So, booze.
Well, yeah!
First round's on you, big man.
Come in! Wasn't sure I'd find a black powder dealer here in Vasselheim.
Victor!
You'd be surprised. In fact, business is booming. Unattended. You're the second person to buy black powder this week.
Oh.
Really? Do you recall what this other customer looked like?
Oh, sure. I remember her well.
Ripley.
She had one hand. Kinda like me. I've learned from my mistakes.
Ripley.
Something wrong, Percy dear?
Oh, nothing at all.
Hey, don't blow yourself up! Bye!
What the? Oh, I didn't even think about Earthbreaker Groon. Okay, who's Earthbreaker Groon in this? I can hear the voice. I mean, I feel like I can recognize it, or that I recognize it, but I can't pinpoint who it is. Oh, yeah, I definitely wouldn't have gotten that. I don't really see him in much. I don't think I've seen him in anything. At least I don't think. I don't recall him. Alana Ubak. I don't recall her either, do I? What have I seen you in? I don't think I've seen her in anything. It's weird. Her voice kind of sounded familiar. Wait. Oh, Mama Imelda. That's why I recognized her. Kind of. Like, I kind of could hear it a little bit. Okay. He was in Voltron. I don't recognize him or anything. Okay. Don't remember who he was in Voltron, so sorry. Alright. Okay. So, that was awesome. Got to see so many people that I was wanting to see. I was hoping to see Earthbreaker Groon. That was always a great moment, seeing Grog fight him. I kind of wanted to see him fight the other guy. I can't remember all of a sudden. But I guess it's not really necessary in that regard. It was more so the lesson of this that he had with Earthbreaker Groon. He was cool. He was awesome. And even like when he grabbed the blade and the blood was absorbed into the sword, and Grog actually felt the benefits of that. His strength increasing. Didn't really do much good. It was the first time it happened. It's happened, and I also think it was kind of sort of not overwhelming, but just like a shock to him. He's excuse me. It was like a crazed look in his eyes. He was like his first high from it, and then he was caught off guard with Groon's just punching him straight on in the face. But no, I like the part where he tries to do it the second time. He's like, try that again when I rage, and then he shoots him against the wall. He's like, rage. That was it. So real quick, was that CADUCEUS? I mean, it doesn't quite make sense because I don't think Furbolg's he's like 50, right? So maybe it would have worked. He's 50 by the time 99, I think. Or maybe not. I don't know. I could be wrong on that one, but I'm pretty sure that was CADUCEUS. Like, there's no way that wasn't CADUCEUS. Like, I'm pretty sure that was just like Easter eggs for them, but like, bring an actual character in Vanaheim? Maybe it wasn't CADUCEUS, but maybe it was one of his family members. It was still like shocking. Yeah, that's 100% CADUCEUS. Okay. You know, like the wild mother, like, oh, the wild mother. Then they're just like the shock of pink just drew my eye. I was like, wait a second. That was interesting. I think that's actually supposed to be like him being there, or they just put him there for the Easter egg. I feel like that they can't just put him there. That it has to be him. Okay. We got the invention of bidet, or at least the word usage in here. Yeah, definitely. I do recall Vasselheim being a bit of an issue to deal with at first. Kind of like, I mean, look, they were the only little bit of, for those that maybe don't watch Critical Role, a little bit of kind of background story. They're one of the few that withheld during the Calamity, which is like a centuries-long war of, you know, between the gods, like the prime deities and the betrayer gods, good and bad, destroying like 3/4 of Exandria, of the world here. So, you know, they're kind of like, yeah, we need to keep to ourselves. You know, we're kind of, you know, being by ourselves is what keeps us safe. So I can kind of understand that, but it's just like these people are, they're like, you know, if they come here, our walls, you know, will hold. It's like, why would you wait until you're the last one standing again? Like, the dragons could fly over, one, and then you wouldn't have any help. You have nobody else to come help you out because you had let them be ravaged by the dragons, by the Chroma Conclave. So, but whatever, you know, sometimes you're stuck in your ways. They do come around, I believe, eventually. And we got to see Kashaw and Zahra again in a very different manner. I know originally that Zahra and Vex. Well, first off, we saw when they first met, like they didn't have a history like they do in here. Like both Vax and Vex didn't have a history with the Slayer's Take, so that's interesting. Which is a good way to kind of like, you know, speed things up and not have to like take time building that relationship or that, you know, history with them. And also kind of because we saw in last season Vax have an interaction with Rakshasa, a fiendish tiger demon thing, humanoid character that can teleport, and shapeshift, I believe. He can shapeshift. Like, can he teleport? I can't remember if he can teleport. I know he can shapeshift though. He can, you know, yeah, look like anybody. Vax and Keyleth had interaction with Kashaw that way. Vex and Zahra and Percy and Grog and all them, they had their interactions. Vex and Zahra didn't get along right away, but by the end they did. So I'm kind of hoping we do get that at least. Like they kind of, you know, they get along. Maybe Zahra and Kashaw follow them on because they're, you know, pissed off that after, you know, first off they show up after that Vex had, you know, backstabbed them. And then what's her name again? Osysa. She said, "I'll deal with them." So I was like, okay, fine, whatever. Thinking that she would kill them, and then seeing that they had gotten some favor from her, seemingly, were doing tasks for her, and of course Vex and them were rubbing in their face as they do, because you know you gotta. So maybe being jealous and pissed off, like they're wanting to see what Osysa had sent them on, that they wouldn't have sent them on. So who knows? We'll see how that goes. I hope we get more of them because I just love having them. I know it's like more costly, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like that they would, because they can't just have nobody else. I know they can sprinkle them in throughout. So I don't know. I hope we get more of them. I want them to be able to build that friendship with them as well. Because thing is, we haven't really built the relationship up with Allura. At least we haven't seen it, and they have had less time with them. Because by the time we would by the time we would have been introduced. Sorry. When the first season takes place, by that point, or at least by the point where the Briarwood arc starts, Vox Machina and Allura had, they'd have history. They'd had a history. They had a friendship they had built up. We don't really have that here. So I don't know if we're gonna not have that with Kashaw and Zahra. I'm just kind of sad because I want them to be more involved. And granted, with what might be happening later on, there is considering things are different at this point. Bit of spoiler talk. If it's happened next episode, you would have seen it by now anyway. But so at this point, Pike wasn't with the group, so they had Kashaw had joined, both Kashaw and Zahra by this, so they had joined in this, which is why I'm kind of hoping that they follow them in this, as they're going to to get the Death Stalker's Ward. So Zahra and Kashaw went. Kashaw is a cleric, and so. As for those that have seen the campaign, again, huge spoilers for those that haven't, Vex dies. And they needed, Kashaw, luckily, Will had Revivify prepped, so he was able to bring her back. With some other events taking place that were an influence, and that really, there was an art. I'm glad that they're going with it, because they're very more pushing it this way, like he's with Vax and the Raven Queen. But yeah, so this time Pike's here, so maybe they won't need Kashaw. I don't know. It'd be kind of sad if they don't bring him in. He doesn't have to be the one to bring Vex back, but maybe some other. I want both Zahra and Kashaw to be involved more. But they might not, just for cost reasons, because But yeah, no, we saw Raven Queen again this episode. This time, at her temple, and it's like she's reaching out to Vax, like she had already chosen him by this point. We're definitely getting something leading more, because what happened in the campaign, it wasn't a plan. It was just things happen, and you latch onto that, and you're like, hey, let me go somewhere with this as the DM, and sometimes as a player. They'll, obviously they'll talk with them if not something that they're comfortable with, and they won't go that route. But, a lot of times it's improv, so things, or not a lot of times, it's just nothing but improv. Like, obviously the DM or GM has things loosely planned. Sometimes they try to plan too much, like to a T, and it doesn't really work out all the time unless you railroad, which isn't always good. It's usually not. It just depends on how you go about it. Like, you can more so play to the player's personality in a way, and railroad in that case, more so just like poke at them in the direction that they would go, but don't force them, obviously. But anyway, sorry, went real off tangent there. But yeah, things just happen, and sometimes you're just like, this is an interesting way to go, maybe we'll just do this. So, but here, they're now, with everything already having happened, just like, hey, let's seed this now that we know what happened, let's make a little more. Again, it's not super subtle, because like, well, what's going on here? There's something reaching out that he's only specifically noticing, but it doesn't really have to be super subtle because we know what's going on. But yeah, one of them we're seeing the Osysa. I don't recall how their interaction went specifically. I do remember being cool that the Sphinx showed up. I don't remember the interactions. I don't remember them going through like these kind of trials. It's kind of like, tearing them down, picking at their flaws. Like, Vax, apparently depending on his sister too much. Vex, striving for her father's love that she never gets because he's a douchebag. Percy, the wallowing in self-pity and all that stuff. Everybody having the thing. And then the one that was like, ouch, dang. See, I'm like, I don't care about you. Nobody cares for you. Neither do I. And then that's it. And then she just leaves him. Like, wow. That. Because, again, for those in the campaign, that watch the campaign, they're kind of hinting at something that might happen. Maybe that I feel like that's them leading to that. Which is, I'm curious if they're going to bring another character in. So, that will be interesting. I mean, they have to, because I feel like that's a huge thing to change if they were to bring him in. Because they have they have quite an involvement throughout. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens, I guess. And we got some talk about the Calamity. Talking about and introducing the Vestiges, saying that they were made to strike down gods. I don't know if they meant like literally the gods, or more so like monstrous creatures that were like godlike powers, like the ancient dragons. They were effectively, the gods made them, like they put like a bit of their power into these weapons that they made to help their chosen, like in the fight against the gods, the prime versus the betrayer. That's it's not wrong. When I heard it, I was like, huh, okay. And we did get a direct mention of one of the Vestiges, the Deathstalker's ward. And then once you find that, then you'll hear more. I remember in the campaign that they mentioned locations of a few others before, and there was one more so that was like more of a general area. There was one I recall now. One was mentioned that had a point to a character that sparked them, that kind of rocked them a bit. So that I'm wondering when that's gonna come into play. And we got Victor, which I didn't even think about it. Like Vasselheim, of course Victor's gonna be there. So happy we got Victor. So funny. And of course it's great that they ended it with him, being erratic and dropping the lantern, causing it to explode. And there was the insinuation, or there was not the insinuation, the straight up basically saying, yeah, Ripley was here, by the way. So, and Percy's not mentioning it to Vex, to the team. I don't remember if he didn't do that before, but God, come on, Percy. What did we say? We said no more secrets. Come on. They can help you. Maybe, but it also didn't seem like obviously he's probably angry about it. Furious that she got away and furious about her and wanting to go after her, but the way whenever, the look he gave seemed more like worried or not sad, but wanting to stay away from her to keep his friends safe maybe. I don't know if that's what that was. But it didn't seem like a furious and just hatred boiling look that I would have assumed Percy to just show on his face. So I don't know. Yeah, again, talk too much again just because I got really excited with everybody showing up and just all the things going on and what they could be going into. But anyway, that's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Gonna jump right into the last episode for this week. I'm gonna be putting that up as quickly as I can. If you want to stick around for that, click subscribe. Hopefully that will go up soonish and won't worry too much about copyright and blocks and all that stuff. You know how it is.